this program to bring you a special report.
Hang on to your fucking hats. It's Thursday, it's 9 o'clock and hopefully you're 3 beers deep already. Welcome to The Game's Gone. Let's all pretend we're Tony Yeboah and Thunderbars did this shit. Fuck Roma. Yes, lads.
Yes, lads, indeed. Welcome to episode number 2 of The Game's Gone, a new CMO 102 stream focusing on a time when Championship Manager and football in general was a little less shit. Thank you so much for popping in. If you've joined us, I can be absolutely delighted and excited to announce that we are live, not only on Twitch, as is our usual platform, but we are also currently live on Facebook, live on Periscope and therefore Twitter, as well as Discord and Daily Motion, which is absolutely unbelievable. Without further ado, let's get started. I've got two people that those of you who've watched us before will be familiar with. He is the tactical equivalent to Gary Neville's insight, but sadly, he also has a similar managerial record. It's Jamie Hopkins. How you doing, lad?
Cheers for that.
Are you all right? You doing well?
Yeah, good. Looking forward to this.
Yeah. What you looking forward to most about tonight?
Seeing Wood a flump in our flop when it's a team.
Seeing Wood a flump, and of course it is the grouch of the CM 102 community and the chairman and only member of the Dean Keats fan club. It's Liverpool's own Joseph Wood. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. I'm just laughing at Smuts. Smuts is just amazed by the production value of from what was the last time he tuned in to what it is now. So I Mr. General Smuts, good evening to you. Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yeah, I think we've managed to conquer some gremlins that were in the system last week. Obviously, we tried to kind of take it up a notch last week, and there was some features that you guys will see tonight that didn't quite work, and I'll totally take responsibility for that. So hopefully, if you are liking what you're seeing, guys, if you do like the production value and the stream itself, give us a like and a retweet. You can now follow us on Facebook as well as Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch as well. We'd love you to head over to our Facebook page, which is just at The Game's Gone. Give us a like and hurl some abuse at whichever manager does worst tonight. Without further ado, we do have a special guest with us tonight. Absolutely delighted on a day when there has been a massive November update released for the CMO 102 community. We have a gentleman who has been in and around that group and kind of big part of the community that is responsible for updates, and also a lot of Facebook pages and a lot of alternative social media to the Twitter sphere. And his name is Mark. Mark, how are you doing, mate?
All good. Are
you good, mate? How does it feel to be live and direct in people's spare rooms and on people's bellies as they're lying on the settee trying to scram in some CMO 102 on a Thursday night?
It's an honour, especially when it's CMO 102, definitely.
It is, exactly. And we're talking ODB, we're talking original database tonight, but obviously there was an announcement today about the November update being released, and I know you've kind of been on the periphery of the team that are involved, and you're looking ahead to March already. You're looking at getting ahead and kind of involved in the March update. You're going to be kind of really involved in that, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The main update is sort of deal with the main editor and database. So they switch around and they do massive amounts of scouting. The whole team, which I'm hoping to get involved in, do masses of scouting. I mean, it's amazing. There are people all over Europe and the world. Like there are people helping with the update, which will scout the Kazakhstan, like Premier League and things.
Yeah. Joe. I think we were talking today, and you'd mentioned that you'd seen people posting in the forum from Israel.
Yeah. Well, I'm quite sort of naive to the whole forum page, and the only time that I've ever been on is when I first picked it up after many years. I've gone and googled best CMO 102 players to try and beat Craig in a network save, and then I've also gone on to try and many times to try and figure out how to set up a network game. So not knowing that what sits behind that one article that I've read is just masses and masses. There was somebody in the Israeli league today telling me about managerial changes and transfers of players that I've never heard of, and I just thought, wow, just sort of Pandora's box here.
And you've actually saved the tightest Welshman there is, Jamie Hopkins, a little bit of money. Jamie, you were maybe thinking about buying FM 2021, which is absolute sacrilege around these parts. But instead, what have you done, mate? Tell us what you've done. Tell us
Yeah,
what you've done,
well,
Hopkins.
I've downloaded the update now and I'm all ready to go. So yeah, it's saved me 40 quid. Happy days.
And who have you selected? Who have you chose?
I haven't chose the team yet. I just literally
Right.
I installed it this afternoon, just having a nose around, seeing what it's like, what the update. I noticed there's quite a lot of money floating around the big teams anyway. 300 odd million for Man City, so I can do a Pep Guardiola.
Let's not talk about Man City.
It's
Yeah.
a touchy subject, isn't it? Yeah, there's a lot of
I
fish
can
out
waste
there
a lot
waiting
of
to
money
bite,
on
I
some
think.
defenders.
So just as well, yeah, I think it's worth mentioning that I think the majority of our viewers here tonight are kind of Twitter based. That's where we've kind of set up, and obviously we've ventured into other social media platforms tonight. But Mark, you're quite heavily involved in one of the biggest CMO 102 groups out there on Facebook. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that and give the group a little bit of a shout out?
Yeah. I joined sort of a CMO 102 group years and years ago, and it wasn't very well run, and people were running amok, abusing each other, and it was terrible. It was really terrible. And some guy came on and was posting about his Intersave, and other people were saying we don't care, etc. It was awful. So I thought, well, I just set up a group, and about 4 years ago, and it's now I think 6.2k members.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
So,
pretty impressive.
And I've sort of moulded the admins. So I think we've got about 10 admins now, including myself. Like Steve is one of the admins on the Facebook group, and he's actually does the updating and things.
Yeah, he's quite. Is he responsible for England and Scotland? I think it was. He was telling me last night.
That's it. Eben's another one who's on the admin team who does a lot of things on the forum.
Fantastic. And I think as well, one of the good things about that group is, like you said, you've got a really tight knit group of admins. You've got a real clear kind of expectation of what people are going to get up to. How would the viewers kind of find that page if they wanted to kind of join it and get involved?
It's just simply Championship Manager 102.
And I think you've got Maradona as the header at the minute. Is that right?
Yes, we've got Maradona and Batistuta.
Nice.
Yeah,
that brings us.
I don't know if you follow the Champman Super League, but we've got a team together, me, Hopkins, and Duggan, who you're on with, and he's our star man. I think he scored 4 goals already this season.
Batty goal, yeah, he's a legend, yeah.
That definitely wasn't planned, but that brings us quite nicely to obviously the biggest story.
Just before we move on, I was going to ask a question there. You're talking about Steve there being the head of England and Scotland data build, for want of a better expression. What does that entail? Like, is he going out and watching football and scouting and?
He spends an awful lot of his time because he's a busy man. Obviously, he's got a job, he's got a family.
Yeah.
All of these people do it in their spare time, which is the amazing thing. So, yeah, not only is he looking on sort of the forum, because anybody can go on and help. If they see a transfer, they're a Cambridge fan, for example, and one of their players has moved from the B team to the seniors, they can put that on the forum, and that will help Steve. But he trolls through like Northern and Southern like Premier League, Eastman's League and things, and the conference, and they do an amazing job because these are people that are doing it in their spare time.
And so obviously, like, the joy of Champman for me anyway is finding a lower league legend, a Mike Duff or a David Collins, whoever it is, and nurturing that person to be a world beater. How does he go about then scouting that? And is it just literally a Cambridge fan, for example, goes, this guy's going to be the England number 10 in 3 years' time, and he sort of builds that database behind the scenes to give him the potential to be able to do that?
Yeah, it's a whole mix. It's watching games, speaking to people, getting knowledge of fans. I mean, I'm a Brentford fan myself.
New stadium.
Yeah, amazing. I was hoping to go up there, but COVID paid to that. So
I think they'll have 2,000 back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, in tier 2. So I think they'll have 2,000 back in. But we, in my other life, I work in a lot of stadiums, and I know that one of the contractors who's working the sort of security staffing around there, one of our clients. So.
Nice, but yeah, they do a lot of work, and they all do it. The Scottish guy does just as much work with Scotland, and yeah, it's all done in spare time, managing around families and jobs. So
And I think you're obviously being kind of very, very magnanimous and kind of praising the other guys. But my head was absolutely blown last night. Even in Rocks, even in Smuts, even in Dimble, you kind of shared with us that you've got your own little project on the side, your own little kind of custom data build. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that? And hopefully everybody's sitting down.
That's going to take years. I mean,
years.
You've probably heard of have you heard of the Lussendorf database? That took 10 years, I think. 10 years.
So tell us about yours then. Outline what the kind of basis is for your build.
Oh yeah, so with mine, basically it's an old database, but everybody is going to be 15 or 16 years old on it, and everybody basically is going to be at the clubs that they started at. So Vieira and Zidane are going to be at Cannes, and I think Andy Cole will be at Arsenal, and Del Piero is going to be at Padova, and they're all going to be. Dorobo West is going to be in some tiny. I think he started in Nigerian Premier League. He's going to be starting there, and it's
I imagine that does take a lot of research and a lot of data building, because obviously we're going to sort of move on to our concept in a second. And by the way, Mr. Smuts is asking, has he still got a mod job on the CMO 102 site? Well, I don't know if you want to take that one aside, but we've done a build here, which is obviously you'll know from your database building that it's not just a case of we found quite quickly, because we've launched this. I don't know if you know the concept, but it's basically taken the concept of the new European Super League that's been scouted about and built it into Champman 0102 when the game was good and the game didn't have all the bullshit that we have to deal with now, the VARs and the agents and all that kind of stuff. So we built it in here to see whether it will work or not. And we built an ultimate team based on legends of the game, well-known players and what have you, that aren't necessarily players of the other top teams based on the UEFA coefficient at that time.
Yeah.
Now, naively, we've gone into this and built it as a case of, I'll just drag and drop all them clubs in there, that'll be fine, and just move that player over to this new team and change that team name. But there's a lot more to it than that, isn't there?
Yeah. Computer says no if you start doing that.
And what we haven't yet experienced is kind of the phantom editor, where the editor kind of almost knows you've messed with the game, and it brings you a broken leg or a 5-5 draw, or just it just absolutely kind of spits out mad results and mad events. So guys, if you want to let us know in the comments, if you had to build a custom build, what would your custom build be? You've heard from Mark, every player on the game going back to 16 with standard base stats, all equal potential to see who rises to the top. None of them are going to be capped, and I'm sure in 20 years time we'll still be sitting here on a Thursday night, Mark, so by all means come back on and tell us when the build's ready.
Yeah, definitely.
Lovely.
Excellent. When I'm about 67, if it keeps going as it's going.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Batistuta.
Genius.
Maradona.
Yeah.
Sad thoughts, mate.
Yes, sad. I think obviously none of us would have ever seen him live. I think I've seen so many clips, yesterday and today, and I just think, some of the stuff he did with the ball was just unreal. Seeing some of the individual things like Gary Lineker, obviously, even played in the same game, where the handball took place, and still they just in total awe of him, and the pitches he played on. And I think there was one clip I saw today, it was about 2.5 minutes long, and it was just unbelievable. And it was all from just one World Cup. And I just think, the ball just didn't leave his close control is probably going to be as good as you'll ever see. And you just got to see the way they're, in Naples and in Argentina. He's just a hero in those places.
Listen, I've never seen him play. If he was I'm not going to say any Liverpool players, but if he was a Frank Lampard or an Alan Shearer and I'd watched him play and I thought, right, I get what this guy's about, and I'd watched them religiously. I haven't seen his documentary. I haven't seen anything. All I've seen is the sort of bits that are from recent World Cups where he's been sitting in the stands doing mad stuff and just thinking, mad stuff is a very loose sort of expression of it. But, that's my sort of impression from it. But listen, everyone raves about, and there's no doubt he's a good player. I just, I've
There's no
just
doubt
never
he's a good
watched him.
player.
I've just gone, oh, that's absolutely, you know what I mean? Never,
A good player.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if we're talking about the game's gone and we're talking about the kind of culture that exists around players now, you know, where they are very, you know, they're very fake, they're manufactured, you know, social media content is pre-planned. If they've just been battered 3-0, Man United, for example, and Pogba, Rashford and Martial are posting selfies, I think, you know, the game could do with more Maradonas being absolutely wild and just a little bit special. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah.
There's a couple there's a couple on the chat there who've replied to your question about who's been building what. So obviously Ryan's built the Super League and said that was a tough old task there to rebuild the Super League into the Australian League, make everyone Australian nationality and give everyone contracts and all that kind of stuff. With loading in sort of, you know, finances and things like that. Smuts is saying he's actually working through a custom game at the minute and he's taken out the top 6 to see how the English League continues.
Class, that's a great shout. And shout out to Ryan as well for his hosting of Super League last night. I thought it was bang on. I thought it was a real good balance between kind of chat and games. And the Dragons are now 3 games undefeated, lads. What about that?
I wouldn't read too much into that.
Could be better.
Could be better, but it could be a lot worse. Just ask Cools. All right then. So let's get cracking. Can
I ask Mark to sort of critique some of the players that we picked in our ultimate team, because it'll be on your screen now, Mark. You should be able to see that. Anyone jumping out here is absolute classics. Anybody bit sort of left field where you think I wouldn't have put them anywhere near my sort of team. Good experiences with some of these.
Yeah, I was quite surprised to see Neil Tarrant, to be honest.
so I think Neil Tarrant's a bit of a Twitter legend. So obviously you've got like the Facebook presence and whatever.
Yeah.
Neil Tarrant still plays the game, I think, and he jumps on a lot of these streams and talks about, you know, his sort of experience.
Okay.
Show him his the winning goal against PSG away in the last.
Well, it pulled me out. It pulled me out of it, didn't it? It pulled me out of it. And then he got another one when he came on as a super sub, I think, and got us the winner against Feyenoord.
Cool. There you go. Eating my words there.
Wait. Listen, commentator's curse. I think we said about 4 or 5 times in the last save that person's no good, that person's no good, and then all of a sudden they bagged. So. What do you think, Dean Keats? Everyone says there the .68 database is a bit of his sweet spot, to quote. What do you think about Dean Keats?
Yeah. I think he develops, doesn't he? I think he'll be all right. I used to play it. I used to type in all my favourite players and sign them all the time. But sort of to refresh the game, sort of myself, I have certain stats for certain positions, and I normally find I get lots of different players popping up now, which is.
So in terms of, like, let's say you were looking at we should say Hopkins there's popping up about David Collins. It's the wrong David Collins, isn't it? Lee Fowler.
Yeah, the wrong Lee
Fowler. Yeah, David Collins didn't make it. There's a stewards inquiry ongoing, and I'll find out the result of that disciplinary action probably in a couple of weeks' time. Probably when Mark's database is ready. Shall we have a...
I think one of the interesting things, Mark, is what you touched on there, is why one of the reasons why I started watching these streams or whatever is how people actually play the game. We are going to move on some gameplay. I know you're trying to rush it on, Duggan, but I'm just going to stall you even further. So obviously you say you look for certain attributes in a player. So, you know, if you were looking at, let's say, a centre forward, which attributes are you going leaning towards? Obviously we got Sigalko in there, we got Madeira, got Samba in there.
Yeah. So I mean, I play with one up top, and I have a lot of width. So people that pop up on mine are like Luca Toni, for example. You've got Vasilichuk there as well.
Yeah.
He's been really good. So the Luca Tonis, the Vasilichuks, the Yankolas, those sorts of you know, big, strong, you know, good at jumping. Because I found in the game, it's more about jumping than heading, regards to stats.
I remember that for the Super League. Yeah?
Have you seen the clip doing the rounds on Twitter at the minute, Mark, with the fella who gets a pointless answer with World Cup winners for Italy or something like that, and he guesses Luca Toni.
No, I need to pay more attention on Twitter.
And he gets Luca Toni as a pointless answer, and he does the Luca Toni celebration. and like his best mate's just standing there buzzing off him, and like nobody else in the audience gets that he's doing Luca Toni's celebration. So yeah, it's a bit of a niche subject, the known footballer celebrations, but I had a little laugh out loud. Shall we review some previous results then?
Yes, go for it. Yeah.
And Hopkins, do you just want to introduce the idea of the head-to-head league that we're going to have between us?
I think Hopkins may have dropped off, mate. He's
No,
just
I'm
texted
still
me.
here.
Sorry.
Still here a minute.
Right.
Are you going to step up and sort your shit out?
Is the head league now because he's, what is in, out, he can't make his mind up, can he?
What's that?
Wood doesn't want to play, and then he plays Feyenoord away, and he's jumping straight in. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, I'll take Leeds at home against Liverpool away. Do you want me to pick the team first? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just explain the concept like I asked of the head-to-head league, Hopkins.
So can we first of all, who won the vote? Who won the vote?
Well, I think you've got about 15 Twitter
we ran
accounts.
a Twitter poll and it said he was going to do it was Hopkins.
Yeah. So.
But he's got about 5 Twitter accounts.
Oh, I've opened about 10.
So I think me and you were actually tied with that. I think we were on about 27% each. Let me just see. So yeah, Wooder and Duggan on 27%, and Jamie Hopkins self-touted on 40-odd%. So at the minute, let's just quickly run through who's kind of top of the league at the moment in terms of our little head-to-head league. Standard 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, no points for a loss. So Wooder, Hopkins got beat 0-1 off Real Madrid. So
Hopkins lost one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So he's on 0. I got the win against Feyenoord. Joe spanked Juventus, the best result of the last stream by a million miles. I flopped it against PSG. And then Hopkins got a result against Ajax with 10 men, to be fair to him. Joe got us a really good point away in Rome. And then I went through on penalties against Feyenoord, but we're classing that as a draw. So let's get cracking then. Joe, you taking the reins?
Feyenoord's a cup game. Feyenoord's a cup game, so that's not counting.
All right, we're not counting cup games then, no?
No. Feyenoord's a cup game. So,
right, okay.
So I'm on 4, Duggan's on 4, Hopkins is on 3. That's some good maths, that.
Okay. Good stuff. So let's get cracking. The reason we're here is to see how this game's gone Ultimate Team do in terms of sabotaging the European big dogs in the new European Premier League. Wooder, you're up first. Any tactical changes?
Yeah, I'll just say just before I do pick a team, I'm actually going to sort of lean on sort of Mark's expertise, so I've got a bit of a scapegoat if it goes wrong. Just before it's just before we do, there's a hashtag going around on Twitter. Download our save, play along with us. It's the game's gone. Play along live, play along. Post your screenshots. We'll discuss it. I'll keep an eye on the Twitter feed. I'll discuss it. Whatever. Play along live. Download it. Play along with us and see if you can beat us. So, can I have a look at? Is there a last save? I had to go with a certain formation. Is that out the window now?
Totally down to you, mate.
Yeah,
right.
that changed. That.
Right. Okay. Mark, what are you thinking to me tactic?
Personally, I'd never play like that. But
okay, what have you got? What have you got for us?
I have 3 at the back normally.
Yeah.
I'd have the 2 defensive midfielders like that, but I like to play with 2 wing backs either side of those DMs.
Yeah, let's go for it. I think that's what we played in the Super League, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have 2 little arrows. Yeah, that's it. And I have two central midfielders.
Wow.
Who runs up, and I play them on his own.
Ooh, that is, I don't think I've ever seen that. I genuinely don't think I've ever seen that.
I do get a little bit carried away with my. I use a lot of player instructions, but you ain't got enough time.
Sorry guys, cheers Ryan for giving us a shout that the actual gameplay window dropped off. Cheers mate, appreciate it. We're back and with a little Christmas present for you there to see how mental that formation looks to me. Interested to see.
So with the FC, I have him holding up the ball if you want to do that.
Okay, let's get some.
Listen, I don't even venture into individual tactics. Do you want to have a look at the personnel first before you say that? Because you're saying Vasylyuk could do a job.
Yeah, I get more back. I think is the best one for that. I think. So,
Archie back up
yeah.
front.
Yeah.
All right, let's go for it. Let's
That's
go.
really,
Right, let's have a look at my goalies.
Why Jan Carlos?
Oh, he's injured. Oh.
Sort by morale for us. you think Choitas in goal?
I love Constanzo. I pick him every day, all day.
Okay,
To be
well,
honest with you.
Listen, this is my pick, but you're taking over here.
No,
so
no,
I'll let
you
you off.
go for it. I shall keep silent. You go for it.
I'll let you off. I think you've got to go Taribo West. I think you've got to go Saeed. Ibrahim Saeed. Okoronquo's off injured. Who are you picking there to play in the last centre half?
I'd have Milevsky, but I'd have him on the left.
Okay, change that then. Let's do that, Duggan. Stick him on the left.
And West in the centre, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with this. Listen, if it goes wrong, I can just go, listen, I've got to buy the head-to-head.
Yeah.
So left wing back, I don't even know if we've got sort of any players that are going to be able to sort of do the business.
Your South Korean chappie should be all right, I think.
Lee Young
Yeah.
Yo. Yeah, okay, let's have it. Down bottom left, mate.
Cheers, bud.
Right, Mike Duff. Superb morale.
Yeah.
Throw Duff in. Let's have Ndai, I think.
Yeah.
One and only.
Yeah, and Mild.
Yeah. Definitely.
Mild, and then we'll stick Kerr.
Yeah, that's good.
Keats, maybe?
I think after all that chat, you've got to stick Dean Keats in.
Nah. Let's go. What about Stephen Reid? Let's have a look at Stephen Reid. Sometimes you can get him.
I give him his debut.
You've given him his debut, yeah?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
What I do, I give people debuts. Get him involved. Squad morale.
Put Dean Keats in then. Let's go for, and then we're gonna play. Backs off injured. You're saying?
Yeah. So somebody with the highest jumping attribute. That's
Silly,
free.
maybe.
What's Brozek doing?
Just somebody with the highest jumping attribute would be ideal.
Neil Tarrant.
16. Got to be Tarrant.
Tarrant.
Oh, 7. Watch out.
Can't go off the
Who we
floor.
go
I
with?
think Cherno's got quite good jumping.
Samba.
Big Cherno?
16. It's as good as Brozek. Put Brozek on.
Yeah, Brozek.
Superb morale. Yeah, let's
Oh,
go. Anyone on the bench? Anyone you like, Duggan? Let's go. Let's get some games on.
If someone could fulfil Piers' request and touch him, that would be great. He's obviously very excited tonight by the prospect that the game's gone episode 2. I love it.
We're very pleased about that.
And we'll have Vasiliuk in there and Kennedy because he's played a stormer, I think, for you, didn't he?
Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah.
All right, let's crack on.
All right, let's have this then. How
Jamie, predictions against Leeds?
2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. Let's have a little bit of luck. Super League was spitting out some 2-2 draws. Let's get cracking.
Brozek offside. Got him goal hanging man marking the goalkeeper there already.
Yeah, Mark, what's your thoughts?
What are your thoughts, Mark, on the old wibwob function? Because there's a lot of. I'm glad he got injured. I'm glad he got injured. Can you put in?
I think Wibwob spoils the game, but it's how you want to play it. I mean, we on the Facebook group, people post like Wibwob and people can play it and etc. But it's when people go on and say, yeah, I've just beaten Man United 6-0 and stuff using my Wibwob, and they expect a carnival procession from all of us. It's like, well, no. You're a bit cheeky.
Seems as though we're getting in the game here. I'm interested in the comments. Dimble is saying he's mad selection. I don't think I've ever seen that. I think if Alf's watching, he'll be all over this as a random formation. Brozek with a chance.
Win this.
That's all this shit.
Oh, there we go.
There he
There
is.
he
Look,
is.
he's holding the ball up, but he's finishing
Well,
as well.
that's
It's
really interesting
dominating.
because I've played this formation for like 2 years, and that's all. It's all I play.
Wow.
I played the last one that you changed. Look at Mievsky.
Milevsky with a 5.
Yeah, get him on.
That's the problem I have with playing the 3 at the back. I always seem to get results, but always one central defender always suffers.
Right.
But it's really strange. It's really strange, but everyone else does all right. It's very strange.
Tate or Harry Kewell? Tato,
Harry.
you're more than welcome to be touched, and I'm glad that we've got your proper handle on. It's good. Your content at the minute, your post match content is absolutely fantastic. What we think Jamie's going to end ones each year.
No, I think he's going to win.
Mark Kerr has been absolutely
People are
phenomenal
talking
for us.
about Mark Kerr not being able to do it.
Oh, it could go either way. This.
Harry Kewell.
This is a win though. There's something happening here.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
I think we're getting a winner here, 3-2.
Do you think? You said 2-2, Jamie, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, but we're on top now.
Oh, no.
Dear me.
Yes.
Oh,
wow.
People say Mark Kerr can't do it, right? And he's overrated. But let's have a look at Mark Kerr. Let's see what he's doing here. Click continue because there's 2 goals on yet. Right now, click on him. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what he's doing here. 5 goals in 8 games from central midfield, 2 assists.
He just develops. He just develops so quickly.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think really highly of him. There was a Twitter World Cup of Champman players ran in lockdown 1, and there was there was a few people out there who were absolutely disgusted how far Mark Kerr stay right to say Mark Kerr is a myth. I think I wouldn't agree with that. All right then, so that's good.
Smuts is sort of saying as well, like I did have Taribo West, left-footed centre-back. I did have him there, and someone told me to switch it over, so I'm just going to cover myself there, Smuts. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But listen, I won. I've got another 3 points.
Another 3 points. What
Can't believe it. Cheers,
it's flying. Cheers, Smuts. We'll catch you in a bit, mate. Catch you on the other side. All right then. So let's get cracking. Let's get these 3 games. You've got Liverpool next, Jamie. Let's see. That puts us up to 3rd. Well done, you two. It is tight at the top.
Is what they're claiming at, yeah.
Yeah, I think he is, mate. Yeah.
Listen.
The desperation of you is unreal.
I don't understand what you're talking about, mate.
Unreal.
That PSG result for me looks worse every single game that goes by. And Whereas Juventus result doesn't look as impressive. 22 goals conceded with a defence that includes Thuram, Montero. Who's that they're playing in goal?
Carini,
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So let's crack on then. Sigalko at the minute is really unhappy. He's struggling to adjust to the Dutch lifestyle.
To be honest, I think that was. I don't know. I think that's part of a save. You build a save, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. I would like to know whether that has happened on every single. The people who are doing the play along.
Mm-hmm.
Has that happened to everybody on the play along, or is it about 2 and 2 clicks time?
Yeah, let us know. Let us know if you've had any unhappy, if you've had any bugs, if you've had any. If the editor just spitting out mad results. So Jamie, you've got a harder game. To be fair, you've got Liverpool away.
Yeah, what does Anthony jumps in like? Right, I need to make this clear. I have got to shoot for a bit after this game. So if I lose, it's not that I've just done a runner.
No worries, mate. We understand. All right, let's have a little look. Saviola flying to Barcelona. What's your thoughts on Saviola, Mark?
Amazing. Yeah, amazing player. Yeah.
Hopkins, let's get cracking.
Right, we'll change the formation. I'm going to play the same as what we play for the Dragons, what we played last night. So 2 at the back, 4, and then 1 CM. Yeah, no, 1 CM.
2 DMs, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Happy with the arrows?
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah. So we'll go with Costanzo. West and Said.
Yeah, and then in midfield.
Malebski on the left, Duff on the right. What we got? Mild and Ndai.
Great combination there. The one and only in the middle.
Yes, yeah.
Flying, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then Archie looks back. I know you think
the
world.
Nicky Ferenko.
Lovely.
Oh, you love Ferenko, don't you?
And Archie back. Need I ask, or who are you going with?
Oh, Vasiliuk's injured. We'll go with
Potato Mourinho saying that on his save, Archie back wants a new challenge.
Yeah, back and Brozek.
Back and Brozek. Great combo. Are you bothered about the subs?
Back on mine is crying that he wants to leave. He's handed in a transfer request.
You playing along, are you, Mark?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think to the build compared to some of the databases you release? Is it shoddy as out or what?
No, it's good. It's good. I actually was going to do a Super League myself and just was like, oh, I can't be bothered.
Feel free to share
we
with
were
the
nearly
Facebook
like
group.
that as
Oh,
well.
Nicky Barnby.
Rox is just saying if you haven't given us a follow, give us a follow. Cheers, Rox.
One of the admin team, I'll see if I can find it for you. He's done something similar, but with one of the updates.
Right, okay.
Right. What is it? Has he got it to download as a save or?
I think he's got it somewhere. Yeah, I think he's got it somewhere. But it's all with, modern day teams. So like Red Bull Leipzig are in there and stuff like that.
Rosek off for Tom Madeira.
That it?
Yeah, why not?
Need a goal here, Jamie.
Yes.
I would love it. I would love it.
We've dominated.
Especially if it's against Liverpool,
Yeah.
Watch out for Heskey in a minute.
Oh wait.
Nobody says
We all know the power of the
Jamie
Heskey.
Jimmy Hopkins.
It's not
Is he one of your go-tos, Mark? Because obviously if you're talking about being good in the air and jumping and heading.
I've never signed Emil Heskey. No.
He just scores against you a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
We've all got them players, Alan Boxic.
Alan Boxic.
Hamilton Ricard for me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Hamilton Ricard's a bastard.
Hopkins, you've flopped here, I think.
It's always their first goal of the season as well against you.
Awful Hopkins.
Well, that's
Awful.
Hopkins staying on 3 and Wooder going up to 7 points.
Yeah.
So we're only 2 defeats, fall at the feet of the Welshman. So well done.
This is why I'm going to FM.
Don't say that, mate. The walls will start bleeding. You can't be saying stuff like that. All right, then let's just catch up on some chat comments. Nice little Kevin Keegan reference in there that I totally missed there. Would well in. Tito Mourinho, excellent. Yeah, and also as well, make sure you give Rox a follow as well. I don't know if you want to check Rox out on Twitter, Mark. He's a bit of an oracle when it comes to players. He's leading a campaign at the moment to get Mason Yavan the credit he deserves. Have you had Yavan before?
I have, yes.
And what's your thoughts on him?
Good player.
Yeah, I think he's great. I think he's fantastic. Lovely. Let's have a little switch around.
I like the Italian and the Dutch saves because the old work permit rule, although you can get around it, still infuriates me a little bit.
That's why we've built this league in the Dutch league, because you probably know how to sort of code break the leagues to change the rules and all that. We don't, so we've just had to build it in the Dutch league because of the work permits. Now, if you look at our squad, once you take out all the top European teams, there's only FGM players really you can bring in. So you have a look through D'Alessandro. Sometimes he's got an Italian dual nationality, hasn't he? But Nicky Forenko, Ibrahim Said, Mievski, there's loads of them. So we just thought I will build it in the Dutch league because
doesn't matter then, does it?
Yeah, absolutely, it doesn't apply. All right then. Although one thing that's maybe worth saying is I'm not sure what impact it's going to have on such a massive change. I don't think this was massively a game that didn't like changes in formations and changes in lineups, and it was before the kind of days of the high management and high maintenance levels of kind of champ as we understand it now, or Football Manager rather. So yeah, I don't know how it'll react to us making so many changes on so many games. So we'll have to have a little look.
Mark, Steve Wright's asking if you've ever had Paul Douglas.
Paul Douglas? Don't think I have.
Oh.
I'm sure he'll message you afterwards. Not Paul Douglas, DW. He'll probably message you afterwards saying, you need to get on him and all that.
Any kind of like celeb kind of claims of people that you've maybe, people that are maybe
Cherno Sampa's in the Facebook group, isn't he?
Yeah, Cherno is. Yeah, Cherno's in.
Any stories?
He's a ledge.
Yeah, you had banter with him in that, like.
Yeah, he sits there and chats. Yeah, he sits there and chats quite a lot. Because I was like, yeah, is this really him? But then I got hold of him and got hold of his agent and stuff, and he emailed me and was like, yeah, it's me, mate. How you doing? And I'm like, oh, bloody hell.
Oh, that's class, mate. You've got to do us a solid and get him to come on here.
I was going to try and do like a podcast and try and get him on, but
Yeah, that'd be class.
I still might do it.
That'd be class. So is there any other kind of projects you've got lined up at the minute? Any other kind of things that were in the pipeline other than obviously the March build and the general kind of the 25-year project that you've got with your own database?
No, it's really just sort of keeping the Facebook group rolling over. We do sort of different challenges and things.
Yeah.
I'm doing I haven't decided which team it is, but I'm going to do a December challenge where basically the North Pole take it's a fancy thing. The North Pole take over a football club, and Santa Claus is put in as chairman.
Class.
But he only likes people like it's fun challenges. He only likes people born in December, so
Nice.
you can only sign people like born in December.
Give us a shout with the details. We'll make sure it goes out across all our platforms, and we'll get as many people involved as we can. Can we just address the elephant in the room, which is just a demolishing of Celtic? There, are we just going to ignore that, or?
Listen, Celtic at home. They're a minnow club, mate. Don't worry about it. It just so happened that Scottish football at this time had a better coefficient than German football, and they were getting teams into the top 20 odd or whatever, and they had 2 that qualified for the Champions League. They're a minnow club, mate. Don't worry about it.
Especially after this evening's disappointment.
What's happened
What was the
tonight?
final result?
Well, Celtic 1, Sparta Prague 4.
So that's 8-2 over 2 legs. Is that right?
Yeah, they're out of the
Wow.
cup now. Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy.
Hey.
And I think his position's untenable, isn't it? Really, it seems as though Lennon's coming under a little bit of pressure, and the love affair is going to be over. So that's 3 games. We've done 3 games. Shall we do a little bit of announcing, Joe? Shall we'll let people know what kind of projects we've got coming up? I know I asked Mark about his.
I mean, you can certainly take the lead because I don't know what you're about to say, mate.
Yes, you do. So, as always, guys, we're constantly looking for kind of new ways that we can be, original and a little bit different, and give you guys as viewers something else to get involved with. So, the first kind of thing we'd like to share tonight is that pre-Christmas, we'll be looking to launch a Winter World Cup. Now, this might sound kind of bog standard that we're going to do a kind of a World Cup save. We're going to take it one step further. What we want to do is we want to run a Winter World Cup, and we want every single player to be controlled via network. So a full World Cup of human players, controlled remotely and streamed live on a Thursday night. Now, there's all sorts of kind of finer details going on behind the scenes about how we're going to kind of make that happen, and how you can get involved, and how the logistics of it are going to happen. But we'd love as many people involved to get involved as they can, either as co-managers or directly as managers. So if you do want to get involved in the Winter World Cup, Steve Wright says we've tried this before. I know we have, mate, but you've never had me at the wheel, have you? So if you do want to get involved, do give us a shout.
We have actually had you at the wheel.
Oh.
The first ever network save that we tried, mate,
Yeah.
and we couldn't get past the 31st of July.
And why was that? That was because people were trying to play from the golf course, weren't they? Yeah, and Greavesy's obviously saying that Alf did his World Cup, but very much like the Super League and kind of previous incarnations of things like the Rivals, they've been done without kind of network, without people managing live. So that's what we're going to try and do. It could go tits up, it might go tits up.
It probably will go.
Probably
tits
will.
up.
Yeah. So yeah, if you do want to get involved, then drop us a DM, drop us a message, tweet us. We'd like every player in that World Cup to be human controlled. Are you gonna take one, Mark? Are you gonna get involved?
Definitely, 100%. Count me in. Yeah.
Absolutely superb, lovely, excellent.
You won't be saying that when you get like drawn a team that isn't that good, and you get knocked
Yeah,
out.
I've already said I'll probably get Q8 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the kind of second announcement we want to make tonight, which I think is more exciting, again could go absolutely tits up, but if we never try, we never know. In the new year, and this is why we're doing this World Cup. We're doing this World Cup to try and identify people that can be relied and people that can be kind of trusted to get involved and be online. In the new year, so in January 2021, we're going to be going. We've just had approval yesterday from the Guinness World Records to go for a world record attempt for the largest and longest CM0102 network save. So,
Is this right? You've had approval?
Yeah. They said we welcome your application, I had outlined the basis on which it was going to be assessed. And they said, yeah, that hits the criteria. So just in terms of a timeline, it takes about 3 months to do the thing, and then about 4 or 5 weeks for them to approve it. So if you do want to get involved in a world record attempt for the longest and largest CMO 102 network save, get involved, man. Get involved, and you get one of those like little cheesy world record stuff.
You know,
go ahead.
You know when you said, "Oh, do you want to tell them about some new projects that we're working on?" I thought you were talking about like inviting somebody on to come and manage one of the other teams in the Super Premier League.
Nah, I'm here Guinness World Record attempts. Like let's get the best football game ever created into the Guinness Book of World Records, and let's be responsible.
I'm sure if Mark can push it on Facebook, we can get more than enough players to set a decent standard. In terms of, I don't know what your sort of largest and longest meaning is, but if it's in terms of longest being a full season, in terms of largest being number of managers, I'm sure we can set a good.
Yeah, I had to specify criteria when I was kind of putting the application in, and I said largest is in number of human controlled players via network, and longest is in 1 full season. So we may well use the Games Gone kind of ultimate team as the concept. We may well come up with something unique. If you do have any ideas of just one season outright custom build save, then
does it have to be custom build? Because look at this. This is like the purists. Mm-hmm. Everyone can agree on the original database, can't they? That's why that's my and everyone knows the original database. Mm-hmm. And everyone knows that if you get, for example, Fulham, that Malbronk's a decent player and Louis Saha's a decent player. Mm-hmm. And everyone knows if you get Middlesbrough, you've got 2 decent centre-halves in Egiog and Southgate. And everyone knows if you've got Leeds, you've got the best team to start with and all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's I'm up for that. I don't, we need. I want people to be involved in this. I want people to have kind of input. I certainly don't have all the answers of how it's going to look. Just that we've been given the green light and we want to fucking smash it. Yeah, and we want to get the world records.
Greaves is absolutely right. There will be no transfers. There will be none of that. Yeah. And that is just one of the things that there'll be no short lists. There'll be no scouting players. It will be you are playing with your team, that your cards that you dealt. It doesn't really matter if you win or lose. Mm-hmm. It's more about the world just getting on it, having a good time.
Yeah, and the world record attempt. Yeah, it's about everybody getting involved, and there's probably going to have to be some rules around people sitting with a timer in front of them and clicking after 60 seconds, because it's going to be a car crash if that doesn't work.
The thing is, if you're live streaming it, and I mean, we're just sort of these ideas now that you're talking about that have just sort of caught me off guard. If you're live streaming it, you can sort of shout at players who aren't clicking continue, can't you? They're watching this on the phone or whatever and clicking through the network save, and you go, oh, by the way, Hopkins, you haven't clicked continue or whatever, and you're doing everyone's head in. We're going to kick you out and get another manager in or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Creepsy's saying someone taking 4 hours looking at a shortlist, looking at Nicky Franco. I think if we think about kind of what's out there at the minute in terms of streams and
for me,
go on.
For me, Greaves, it was more like I put a bid in for a player. I think no one's got them on the shortlist, and it would be like, I know, someone who's half decent, but nobody really heard of or whatever. And then all of a sudden, 4 other managers would bid for him. The next time I click like continue, be like, what? Where's that come from? Yeah. 4 managers have just come in for this player who I thought only I knew about. Yeah. Chris Hope, Dean Keats.
And I think as well, Mark, you can maybe kind of chip in on this. I think, there's a lot of amazing streams out there. There's a lot of great saves. What's first team football, Rox's stuff. But I think that the next step up is trying to have a live stream network game. And I don't know if it'll work. And I'll be happy to hold my hands up and say, yeah, it went tits up. But let's try.
It's worth a go, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. And that's why we want to use the World Cup as a bit of a pre-screen. We want to see, people that are responsive, people that are involved, people that are willing to kind of be available when we need them to. Joe, what are you going to say there,
mate? I don't know. Sorry, I was reading the comments. I got distracted by Steve. I was laughing at Steve saying he loaded up one of our shortlists and it had like 8 pages of just shite on it.
I think if you host a network game anyway, there's a force load button where you can basically kick the game on and stop people farting around yourself anyway. So
that is class. We were talking about that last week, weren't we, Woody?
We were saying, is that a patch? Because we were saying that would be absolutely perfect.
No. I think if you're actually the hosting the game, I think you can just force load it. There's a button. You just press it. Yeah.
Class.
I think.
All right then. Shall we have a couple of more games then?
Certainly.
Yeah.
I go with it.
Have a look. Yeah, I think you're back
Well,
up.
listen, Hopkins. You probably realise Hopkins has jumped off. He's gone. So I think it's only fair if I do. So you've won there, haven't you, Duggan? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sort of equal on 7 points. He's got. Did he lose? Did he?
Yeah.
So he's got 3 points. We've got 7 each. Is that right?
Yeah. I think, yeah.
So, am I taking Barcelona at home? Am I?
I think we'll let Mark choose. I think Mark steps in for Hopkins.
Okay. Well, it's not Hopkins' game. It's mine.
All right. Okay. Wow. We got Brazilian. Yeah. Boaz. CM Boaz. CM never dies. Indeed, it doesn't, mate. Indeed, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Greetings from Brazil.
One player I'd have in your ultimate team. He's one of my favourite players. Is Marajo.
Who?
You've ever heard of Marajo?
Spell that for me.
Marajo.
I don't think I've ever heard of this kid. Joe, have you?
No.
Absolute genius.
Well, you know what? You might have just let us into a player. It'd be interesting if Rox is still in the chat. Rox, have you heard of him? Because you're say it all the time, mate. You're a bit of an oracle with kind of unknown players, but this guy looks good.
What?
My
scored 6 and 10.
My favourite team to play with is Lazio, and this guy scored 2 for me in the Champions League final in my last save. And that was the season I bought him. You can pick him up for 50 to 100k.
Work permit.
Yeah, you need to be able to sign him for an Italian or whatever. But
yeah.
Class.
Or pay him like 40 grand in wages, or whatever.
Oh, he's one of my favourite players.
Class.
Where was he attacking mid? Was he?
Attacking mid. I play him just behind the striker. Yeah.
Class.
But you can play him in centre midfield as well.
Class. Cheers for that shout, mate. I'll make
No,
sure I check him out. So there's a couple of guys saying he's on a kind of there's a fella on Twitter called Mega Save, and he does a massive database. There's a couple of the lads saying they recognise him from there. But Greavesy asked that. Mark isn't kind of in the Twitter sphere thing. He's more Facebook. So I'll say in his defence that's an original shout. Right then, Joseph, let's get going.
I will join the Twitter sphere.
Right, I'll have that tactic. Let's go. Let's show Mark how this tactic works. So let's go Costanzo in nets, and let's stick Vulgari on the bench. All right, okay. Well, let's go for me back 3. West's injured, so I'll go. Let's go for a proper Wooder team. Let's go Robinson. Paul Robinson, let's go Saeed, and let's go Chris Hope. Let's have a look at my midfield. Ndai and Mild with Mark Kerr. Oh, he's injured. Right. With yeah, let's go Stevie Reid. Okay, let's go for across that line. I want Nicky Ferenko. Have you just chosen? Oh, that's not what I've got. Back on the right, Carl Strom through the middle.
Just check that. Yeah.
And I'll have Tom Madeira up tops. The Enigma.
What's your thoughts on Tom Madeira first season, Mark?
I used to sign him, but now I don't. No, I don't. I try and play the game now as I would look at a real football game, sort of thing. So I don't.
He's not real. What you say?
I don't sign Mr. To Madeira.
Here we are. Let's go. What do you think to me chances here, Mark?
You're home. Ooh.
Where are they sitting in the league? Hey, this should be a rout. They conceded 13 against that attacking line there.
Let's have a look.
Here we go.
Ooh,
there we go. Ooh,
the best defensive.
Here we go. Here we go.
Were you just about to say they've got the best defensive record in the league there, Mark?
No, I said they've not got the best defence in the world. But when you...
Who's getting assists for me there? Who's getting assists?
Let's have a little look. Flying here, mate. Flying.
Stevie Reid. Oh. Die. Didn't like that. Just before half time.
Clinical.
I thought we'd done better than that. Yeah, let's go. Let's have a little look. Yeah, I tend to change an AMC, but they're all sort of
firing for you.
You got Chris. Oh, this is absolutely backwards. You've got like Chris Hope as your bottom player on the list.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know where I don't know how you've moved all these about.
Just because we changed the tactics so much, mate. So it just chucks them all over the shop.
Let's go. Let's put. Did you not put D'Alessandro? Put D'Alessandro in for Karlstrom. Yeah. Let's go with that.
See if we can hang on.
Hang on. Hang on.
Bit of a blinder, yeah, by the looks of things. Ooh.
You see his name a lot, don't you?
Rivaldo in there. Costanzo with a big save. Let's go.
That's a dangerous thing, isn't it?
Saviola up top. I think 4 on. 2 on in the first half.
Oh, Chris Hope there.
Any late subs, Joe?
No. Keep it.
Riding it through.
Oh.
Either way, I think Barca are going to nick it. Oh, should be scoring that.
Tactical genius from Wooder saying, just keep it. Persevere. He's only dropped 2 points all season. Let's have a look at what Duggan's doing.
And that puts us within 4 with the game in hand. United absolutely flying. Thoughts on that, Mark?
Yeah, good. Just hold on.
You'll have to remind me what your tactic is. Is it 4 across?
3 at the back, yeah, 4 across.
2 MCs?
Yeah, that's it. 2 left, that's it.
That's it, right, okay, lovely. Get that on there. Let me just check on some... Greavesy's saying the players have to be in order. Greavesy, I get it, mate. I'm a little bit OCD with that, but unfortunately with 3 managers, each kind of barking out their own instructions, I think the game is just a little bit topsy-turvy. Keegan and Taylor vibes from Woodard tonight. Love it. Yeah, you definitely, I don't know if it's deliberate or accidental, mate, but you're definitely getting some sound bites in there. It's class. So Mark, what are you doing here with your keeper? Who are you having?
Yeah, Constanzo, please.
Oh, wow. There it is. We said it might be in a couple of games' time. Requested to leave. What about that? What do we think?
No, start off.
Absolutely not. Get fucked. All right then. Looks like a fighter jet. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I love that.
A mad formation, that like.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that. Who are you going with here, Mark?
Constanzo, please.
And then at the back.
Milewski on the left. Okoronkwo, please.
Just came back fully fit. Well done.
I'll have Ndoye on the right of this. That's it. Who are we having now? Young Pew, please, on the left. Stephen Reid, what's his crossing like? Can you have?
See, isn't it mad that people look at these kind of things? I just look and go, how many 20s has he got? Just lob them in.
Yeah, I'll have him on the right, thanks.
What about Neil Scally?
Steve Wright will be going mental. Went momentum off there.
Yeah, never mind. I sometimes go Mike Duff, but I like to change it up. Side and Mild, please. Nicky Forenko.
Ball showed, I like it.
And DeSalleandro.
Sorry,
and back.
Back, even though he's unhappy. There we go. All right then. Predictions, what we saying?
So I missed it. So I've just been to the toilet. So show me the fixture.
Fixture is Dortmund.
No, click next match. Go next match, just in the middle. See, this is, you need to get the team news and that, don't you, before the match. So, Mark Kirk, Dean Keats is out. This is a loss. Dortmund away.
Yeah,
This is the
gonna
lot.
lose now then. Oh, that's it now.
Dortmund.
Abandon all ye hope who enter here.
Nice. Dortmund.
I
Alright.
just look at that and go, listen, from a goal scoring point of view, we're one behind the league leaders in United, but we've conceded so many, and I actually think that's Duggan and Hopkins' fault.
Can you team instructions? Yeah. Can you have normal and short, please? So,
Happy with that?
yep.
So one thing I was going to ask you about while that's playing, so obviously like people in the original database, like obviously I've just sort of, you might know, you might not. The original database, people have a system of winning, whether it's wib-wob or a tactic they use or certain players they sign. On the updates, them sort of tactics and formations and things seem to go out the window, and the game seems to become a different game. Is that by chance? Is that by design? What is it?
It's a bit by chance and a bit by design. I think they figured out what it is, but it just plays completely differently. I think they've aimed it over the time to make it a different playing experience than. So you go on the update and you have to learn differently, I think, because I've used formations on the update and it's completely different. You got to look at it a completely different way than you would do the ODB.
Mark, are you happy with that? Any changes?
No, I think that's all right.
Dortmund on top, not doing too bad. Dortmund away is a tricky one. Have you ever done a German database save, Mark?
Sorry?
You ever done a German database save?
I think we'll change again, I think.
Is this one of Hopkins' games, by the way? Because if this stays like this is going against Hopkins.
Brozek, please.
4.
Or back.
He's having a stinker.
And team instructions mixed, please.
Nice. It's always amazing to see kind of the changes that people make if they're behind or if they're on top. I'm definitely not someone who changes things in terms of team tactics mid-game. Ooh, down to 10. It's come too late though, I think. Come too late. Oh, unlucky mate.
Is that another 0 against Hopkins' name?
It is. Right,
Hopkins. Okay, and that is the Twitter poll coming back to bite everyone who voted Hopkins right in the backside.
That's a hard game, Dortmund away. They're not easy.
Yeah, I think Dortmund are a little bit underrated on this. I think Jan Koller is absolutely kind of tore you a new one. I think. Yeah.
See, one of the things about like the updates in the database I was going to mention was there is a distinct difference in gameplay between the original database and the 0.68 update that was originally an update back in 2001, 2002, whatever. And, you know, my little mind is absolutely blown when I see Kim Kallstrom and he's a defensive midfield player, or, you know, little things like that where I just think that's not right. But that plays differently to the original database as well in terms of tactics. And, you know, there's things that we picked up on, that I picked up on certainly from watching other streams and whatever else, is that you score a lot more free kicks on the 6-8 update.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or what, but there's like little things where in the original database, once you get past a certain season, there's no sort of goals in the second half or something like that, or there's no sort of, or the goals scored go dramatically drop, or the amount of passes.
Yeah, all the regens, all the defenders, they all develop really, really high positioning stats. So they all get positioning 20. So they all become like really, really, really strong defensively wise and less goals go in.
We're not gonna count this because it's a team called TSC, and even in my desperation to beat Wood, I can't claim that this is a good result.
It's a cup game and it don't count, mate. But
you find in the 0.68, you get all the Super Greeks, and they're even more OP. I mean, people, and Papadopoulos, and people moan about not signing Sidalko, because he's too OP, but I mean, the Super Greeks are just I mean, there were like 40 players there, like Messi standard. I mean, it's just like mad.
Yeah, I think I've seen a screenshot. I think Greg Steve's another streamer who does one from the sort of Twitter sphere, is it, where he posted a screenshot of Lionel Messi, I think, on the 2006, 2007 update, and it was just like red. It was all 20s. Obviously had the sort of patches on of the, that extra column that you can get, and you can get the patches on. I mean, there's just so much you can do, because fundamentally, and I've heard people say this before, it's a database concealed by a skin and a sort of AI that does what it wants, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can sort of fiddle with it. That's an absolute rout, by the way. One shot on goal.
How does
you can sort of
man of the match there?
Did he? How many assists? 4 assists. He's going to, isn't he?
Terence bagged 5. Look at that. Welcome to Neil Terence, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what my point was, but my point must have been something relevant. Anyone want to remind me?
I think it was about the way that the different bills play, and ultimately the skin doesn't change, but there's a lot of work goes in behind it, and it's hard to tell what it is, but it feels different.
I'm glad you're here. So
it feels different.
It's basically a massive database, and it spat out into what we can see on the screen now. But you tweak something in that database, and it does affect what you can see now. It is like that. It's like, we've done network saves of plenty, Duggan, where we've gone, I tell you what, pick our World 11 and we'll batter each other out. And I've got Nesta at centre half, and I've got Oliver Kahn in goal, and Sigalko up top, and all these players. And Duggan's got, I don't know, Udaisy's one of his favourite players and whatever else. And then all of a sudden, Udaisy's unhappy. Sigalko wants a new contract. It's ridiculous, and it just starts to sort of manifest itself into some sort of, I don't know, weird sort of
beast
corruption.
Yeah. So we've got Lazio. I think it's my game here against Lazio. Away. Let's see how we get on. Any predictions, Willa?
So who's picking his teams? At you and your?
Yeah, it's me. Lazio.
You're home?
I'm home, yeah.
You're away. You're away to Lazio. I think they'll beat you.
You think?
Yeah. Let's have a look at the next match. Click on next match for us. Any injuries and things? Nah. Have they got Nesta in and stuff?
Look at that.
My favourite all-time Championship Manager player plays for Lazio, and it's probably somebody you don't think it is.
Go on, then, give him a shout.
No. Dejan Stankovic.
Oh, he's in our Super League team.
I play in central midfield, and man can do no wrong.
Beast of a player, I think.
I think we relegated to the reserves, didn't we, Duggan?
No, he made his debut on when we got the win, and he played a blinder.
Was it him on the right wing?
The right wing back.
All right, yeah. I think he scored an assist, didn't he, on his debut?
Yeah, it's great. Let's have a little look then. Lazio away. I think I'm going to get battered here. Some face. Only remember Stankovic. Yeah, Greavesy's been trying to get onto us to talk about Effenberg for the last 20 minutes. Sorry, Greavesy. Effenberg, you ever had Effenberg before? Mark?
Yeah, big blonde mop.
Oh, yeah, we're getting battered here as expected.
So, Mark, obviously, like in real life, where do your allegiances lay? Are they with a Premier League club, a non-league club? What are you?
I'm a Brentford fan.
Oh, you mentioned that earlier, didn't you?
I think you did.
Yeah. You were pushing for the promotion, weren't you, a couple of seasons ago?
My hair is still growing back after losing it. Yeah, we lost to Fulham in the playoff final.
After playing
Scott Parker's Fulham.
Yeah.
And it was the one chance for us to keep hold of our two best players. Ollie Watkins, who's gone to Villa now, and
he scored against us in that 7-2 win, didn't he? He scored a hat-trick or something.
Yeah, Said Benrahma, who's gone to West Ham.
Where did he come from, Benrahma?
France. France, yeah. He played for Nims or something. We have this.
Did you have him in the 2017 update as one to watch?
I don't think so. No. I mean, Brentford seem to pull these players out of like thin air, and they do really well.
So, just whilst we're sort of clicking through, I think we've got a couple more games to play. Are we doing another round, Duggan? Are we? Or
yeah, I think we will. But I think there was a little feature that we maybe kind of want to just introduce that we didn't get a chance to squeeze in last week. And
Nice.
Mark, I don't know what your thoughts are on modern football. You know, do you think the game's gone, or are you actually pretty happy with it?
I mean, I used to love the Premier League back in the day. I mean, I'm a Championship follower, really.
And if I kind of asked you if there was one thing about modern football you could get rid of, what would it be?
VAR.
VAR, yeah. Now, would you think it's the application of it, not the technology, that you think is the issue?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Listen. The VAR does its job. VAR does its job in the fact that it shows you. It's a video assistant ref. It shows you the video of what's happened. Now we've seen, and then it's the judgment that's made after that video, whether it's pitch side monitors, whether it's somebody in their ear or whatever. It's looking at something. VAR does it. Listen, I can't get my head around. I mean, you come on to my 101 in a short while. I can't get my head around why. And Duggan, you've obviously we've been through this in the past, right? In tennis and in cricket, you have this technology, and it's absolutely indisputable that yes or no, black and white. And I know there's grey areas in football or whatever, but it doesn't need to be. It can be. They're the rules, and that's black and white. It's the grey areas in between. So, for example, in tennis, right? Somebody hits a first serve, it goes in or out. The technology beeps and tells you it's in or out. They know straight away. No argument. See you later. In cricket, LBW, someone does a review. You can tell if it's in line, if it's hitting the wickets, or where it's pitched, whatever. It's black and white. Why can't you just apply that to football?
Well, I differ. I think there's always going to be human error involved. Tato makes a really good point because it's humans ultimately making the decision. There is an objective set of rules, but the application of those rules is a subjective decision. And what I think, scrap VAR. Objectivity is impossible with VAR. We need to go back to just absolutely accepting that the referee is there to make a decision, and if he makes it and it's a shit one, he's made it. Move on. To get to this point where we're spending 15 minutes looking at a screen within a screen within a screen to decide if one commentator thinks it is or if one commentator thinks it isn't, and then have the whole half-time coverage focused on this one bloody incident, it's an absolute piss take. Get rid of it. Keep Hawkeye. Hawkeye's objective. It's either a goal or not.
So that when you say Hawkeye, you talk about the goal line technology.
Yeah, the goal line tech. Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
That is black and white to me.
Yeah, the goal line is, but VAR isn't, because it's still a human with a brain and a set of eyes and a set of perceptions and skill. Let's not think about the other thing. Let's think about the other thing as well.
Hang on a second, though. I know what you're saying there, right? You're saying about the human perception and all that.
Mm-hmm.
All VAR is doing, I'm not saying scrap VAR, all VAR is doing is giving that human and better understanding of that perception.
Yeah, but it's costing 20 minutes, mate, or 15 minutes, or 5 minutes, and the game is becoming about the decisions that are made and not actually the game itself. If VAR just does what referees do anyway, but makes it last longer, get rid of it. Focus on the football. Anyway, that brings us quite nicely, Mark, to a new feature we want to introduce tonight, which is a feature called Room 101. The game's gone Room 101. This is our intergalactic football time machine in front of us. And Room 101 is the place where football present can potentially go back to football past and get removed from the game, but only at the say-so of the viewers. And tonight, Mark, you have got the casting decision. So Joe has picked something that he wants to get into Room 101 and never see in the game again, as have I, and you're going to be the person that decides which one gets removed from the game forever and goes into Room 101. Joe, you're up first. What is it you want to chuck in there?
I do think Hopkins had one, but he's
not
obviously
Jersey.
gone. So,
yeah.
Well, absolutely not. And if he wants to post something later, we can all ignore that as well. So my Room 101 is simply the new normal. So I'm not talking about football. I'm talking wider than football here. And I know this is Champ Man and whatever else. The new normal. People making excuses because it's the new normal. That's not the new normal. You're just being like shit, basically. So, for example, you go into a restaurant, right? And somebody gives you a QR code to scan to look at the menu. It's the new normal. It's not.
And
It's not the new normal.
Mark, I don't know if you watched the full episode last week, but we nearly ended on a really nice artsy-fartsy end when Joe had a lovely poem that Hopkins shot him down for. So Joe, have you got that poem?
No, it was written on the back of me pension letter envelope, and it went in the bin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Well, obviously you can decide to chuck whatever you want into Room 101. I'm going with something football related. And Mark, what I want to chuck in there and never see again is 3 words, and it's live. That little 60-second split when you've sat through Roy Keane chewing a wasp for half an hour and you've seen Micah Richards in the worst appalling fashion sense ever, sitting there like he's some sort of bouncer on a weekend in a big duffer jacket. You've sat through all that. You've sat through the previous results. You've sat through advert after advert. And then we get, and it's live, and we cut to Ray Winston's face going, "Bet and play now, boys." That's what I want to get into Room 101. Just get on with it. Get on with it. Get the game on, because the game's gone. So
I don't think Mark only sees that once a season when they cover Brentford.
No, I do watch other football, but yeah, I don't want to see Ray Winston's face either.
So let's kind of do this 2 ways. So in the chat, give us a 1 if you want to get rid of the new normal. Give us a 2 if you want to get rid of and it's live.
Listen,
Mark, you've got the past and
people.
vote.
I before we go into that, right? The new normal is now going to be 2,000 fans in at Brentford, for example. 2,000 fans in at Anfield. No fans in at Man City. The new normal. We've longed for fans to go back into stadiums for however long. This is not the new normal. Is not 2,000 fans in Anfield, but they can't sing and they can't shout and they can't.
And they'll all be
eat a
paying
hot
$600
dog
for a ticket because they'll be corporate. There'll be corporate viewers. There'll not be. Very few of them will be season ticket.
Yeah, stay right with me. Get the new normal in the bin.
Dimble
Get it in
Copites
the bin.
there. Unfortunately, Dimble, if you did put Copites in there, you'd be getting rid of probably the most successful team and most successful fan base in the UK. So, that's not a price you want to pay.
Can I address something as well? Because I missed something last week on the VAR shout. And I do think it was Dimble who mentioned that we actually get the rub of the green in terms of VAR decisions.
Yeah.
Now, there are some big decisions that have gone our way, that's for sure. Now, in terms of Sadio Mane at the Champions League final. And the handball decision, he kicks it against them and it's out of his silhouette and all that kind of thing. Great, fine, great. There are other things that go really against us, like the Richarlison tackle on Thiago.
Yeah.
He got sent off. Van Dijk, Pickford, Sadio Mane's goal, all that kind of stuff. There are things that go against. It goes, you got to give something to, to take some. It goes both ways. Yeah, look at Man City. They've probably had the worst of it, to be fair. The two they played Tottenham twice or something in the Champions League, both had VAR disallowed, can't remember.
So Mark, I think the
Pickford won the ball.
The chat the chat is pretty unanimous in that 2's going in the bin. You've got to say it tonight, mate. So what's going into the game? What is going into the Game's Gone Room 101?
It's live.
And it's live is in the bin. Now, if whoever the presenter is or whoever the guest is that does get something selected to go into the Game's Gone Room 101, football and present goes into football and past, and we also get to introduce a bit of football and future as well. So whichever presenter gets their 101 picked, they get to introduce something new to football. So Mark, I want your thoughts on this. This is what I would like to introduce because that's 1-0 to me on Room 101. Dead simple. No messing about.
1-0 to you, but you're still 3 points behind in the head-to-head.
That's fine, mate. It'll come. At least I'm not Hopkins. So what I want to introduce, Mark, is dead simple, and I'm sure, being the worldly man that you are and the intelligent man that you are, when the ball goes out, when the game stops, the clock stops. No added time. Don't fanny around with people doing 20 subs to try and get less, to try and run the clock down. People play acting. If someone's down and the ball's not being kicked, you stop the clock. What do you think of that?
Yep, definitely.
Spot on.
So-
it's a winner.
I know that. Well, hang on. It's not just as cut and dry as that, is it? Because literally, I think the ball's in play for like 20 minutes a game. Really, realistically, and Van Dijk has been a fraud this season. He's not even played, is he? Anyway, Steve, right, is involved in a rugby team. I know that from some of the stuff he why don't football learn from some of the other sports that are around? Now, I'm talking about cricket, and I'm talking about tennis, and I'm talking about rugby here. I've just bought in. You're talking there about stopping time when it goes out. I don't know the rules of rugby, but I know that the clock stops in certain times, and they've got a time limit to get it back in play. At certain times, they kick the ball out, it stops. Why don't they learn from other sports? Why is football on this pedestal that thinks,
I agree.
We're the greatest?
I agree, and I think that ego is in the way of the game at the minute. Whether it's the handball rule with kind of ruling bodies not willing to accept how farcical it is, or last season the rejection of referees to go and look at the monitor. I do think looking at the monitor is a million miles away from just the decision in the referee's ear. It gives that sense of accountability. Yeah, but there's just this ego around football that we're not willing to compromise. We're not willing to change. We think we have all the answers, and we don't, because why? The game's gone, lads. On that note, let's have a little bit of a look. The Games Gone Ultimate Team are rocking it in mid-table comfortably, in seventh. Haven't had a few wins.
That's 2 games in hand, though. Look at Man United, though. Lost 1 game.
It's unbelievable what they're rocking formation-wise at the minute. Scholes and Veron there. Double teaming.
Who do you hate more, Mark? Do you hate Roma or Man United?
Man United.
yeah.
Correct answer.
Yeah, it's Veron and Van Nistelrooy for me.
I can get the odd result against Roma. Just like Man United just seem to nobble me. It's
Yeah. So we've got Rangers languishing at the bottom.
PSV annoy me as well if I do a Dutch save.
Yeah, they're awesome.
PSV.
Their squad is unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're anyone other than PSV, Kesman will score against you.
Yeah,
Like an Ajax save though from time to time.
Dimble makes a really good point there
Wouldn't it?
in terms of the clock stopping. How does that work in Sunday League, motor football and stuff on TV? Yeah, I absolutely agree. But I think you've got to be realistic about what they've got.
Well, just on that as well, like while we bought the lower leagues in, I've sort of said it's new normal, and I've got to give a balanced sort of view on it. I've kind of posted on Twitter, and nobody like my Diego from Potato Mourinho, nobody like Diego Maradona shout anyway. But nobody really interacted with the fact that I was talking about finance and letting fans speaking to people. I've been in stadiums up and down the country. I visit regularly St James's Park up where we are, Wembley's and the Valleys and all these big stadiums, the Etihad and all that. And speaking to the stadium managers and the safety officers, they all say in order to make it viable for a club like Newcastle, for example, I'll take Newcastle. I spoke to the guy a couple of weeks ago, and he said to me, in order to make it financially viable, I need 60% capacity. If I need to deploy a full safety team, or else the club have told me I need 60% capacity. Now, for me, if you enforce that, fine, they're going to be in the red. Big clubs like Liverpool, Newcastle's, whatever, can probably take that. Bournemouth, people like that, I'm not sure whether they're going to be in the red every game. The opposite, the pole to that is the lower league clubs. So I use Macclesfield as an example. Macclesfield right on the cusp of Greater Manchester. The Moss Rose holds 6,000. That's on paper. I've been to the Moss Rose loads. It's fallen apart and everything else. On paper, they can have now they actually fall not in Manchester but in Cheshire and Warrington in that region, so they can actually have 2,000 fans in. They probably don't average that. They probably average before lockdown. They probably average about 500-600 people through the door. They're going to see an influx of people coming in because it's live sport, and they're going to really benefit. So where's the balance? Where's the sort of balance between you scroll down the leagues and look at stadium capacities and look at finances and money coming in, and at some point there's a turning between clubs are losing money because of this, but clubs are gaining money before this.
Yeah.
But I imagine it's going to be down where Macclesfield are. I imagine Brentford won't make any money, for example, by opening the stadium to 4,000 people.
And if something doesn't change, we're going to lose, a generation of lower league football, maybe more. Maybe it never comes back. And on that bombshell, you can see that the Games Gone Ultimate team are comfortably in mid-table. Mark, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have you had a good time?
You're welcome.
You enjoyed it?
Awesome. Thank you for having me
Lovely.
on.
What's the name of the Facebook page just before we wrap up? It's
just simply Championship Manager CM0102. We've got Maradona and Batistuta on the top.
Lovely.
And if people do enter, we do have, just to check you aren't enough to spam bot, we do have a few questions we would like you to answer. It's just do you agree to the rules and what's your favourite Championship Manager player, and then you can come in.
Excellent.
Mark, just before we sort of say Sarah, there must be, I've seen it dotted about even today, there must be some basic things. People are going to install this update. I know that you need to run it as an administrator and you need to do certain things. Is there anything that you want to say to people watching now? If you're going to install the update, make sure that you do X, Y, and Z.
If you go on the Facebook page, we've got loads of frequently answered questions, but update to 0.68. It's really simple. Swap the database over, and that's all you do, really. That's all you do.
Lovely.
There's no Saturn patches or anything for it or anything like that yet, so it's quite simple, the new one.
Good stuff. Anything from you?
Can I round up some of the comments, because some of them are actually expanding on some of them some stuff that I've said. So it's a travel to the game, not just them being there. It could cost money. It's going to cost Tranmere £10,000 a game to host a match if they open up. They're not going to get that in revenue. They're going to be allowed 2,000 fans in, and in order to that, they have to charge them £500 a pop, if my maths is right. The new Bradford ground holds 25k at full capacity. They sell season tickets at £150. So what do they need? 2,000 Grimsby fans have already paid for our season tickets. Opening the ground at those numbers will see no income, only more loss. Obviously, they've already captured that revenue. Great episode. You'll get an episode going on Tuesday nights as well. You have to get an episode going on Tuesday. Someone else on a Tuesday. And then Steve's just saying fans putting that money in. Yeah.
Spot on. Guys, thank you so much for dropping by. If you are watching this on repeat, then thank you for stopping by. We will post the highlights episode midweek. Get playing along up to where we are. Next week, we'll be sharing screenshots of the Games Gone Play Along live. Wooder will be taking the lead on that on Twitter. So get tweeting them and get the hashtag. Yeah, you will. You've got to do something and get the hashtag going. Make sure you give us a follow and make sure you interact with us. This thing is only as good as you guys make it. And until next week, until Thursday at 9 p.m, cheers for popping by, guys.
Thanks, Mark.
The game is gone. Cheers, Mark.
No worries, guys. Thank you.